Okay, so this is the expanded form for decimals video. And the process is the same. If you can write a whole number in expanded form, you can write numbers that have decimals in expanded form. But there's a couple things that we need to consider. The first thing is that I've seen this mistake in both classes, is that, okay, I go, what place value is this 2 in? You're telling me the ones place. I've been having students telling me in this number, 45832, that this is the ones place. This is no longer the ones place, okay? The place values are in relationship to the decimal point, okay? So, in a number like this, 476, there is a decimal point, even though we don't write it. It's right after that 6, okay? But the reason why we don't write it, because hundreds, tens, ones, if I drop that, still hundreds, tens, ones. The place value, it doesn't change the place value, having the decimal point there or not having it present, okay? However, if I put the decimal point there, that changes the whole value of the number. Now it's 47 and 6/10, okay? Tens, 1/10. Do you see how the place value shifted? Hundreds, tens, ones. A 4 in the hundreds place is completely different than a 4 in the tens place. Okay, so we have to be aware of the effect the decimal point has. Okay? So, from the decimal point to the left, we have our whole numbers. From the decimal point to the right, we have our decimals and our fractions. Okay? So, if I cover up to the right, you can actually physically do that and look, okay, well, this would be the ones place. This would be the tens place. This is 45, right? 5 is the ones, the tens is the 4. Now, directly to the right of the decimal point, we get the tens. And remember, we've been working it with the blocks, so we have a visual of what that place value means. It's called a tens because I have a whole, and I'm breaking it into 10 parts. Why 10? Because our number system is based on 10. We're either getting 10 times bigger or 10 times smaller. In this case, we're getting 10 times smaller because we're going to the right. So if we break this, our whole, into 10 pieces, we would get the long, which would look like this. Okay? 10 of those equals 1 whole. It's a tenth. Pay attention to the THS. That signals that we are with decimals or fractions. Okay? Next one over. So 2 places over from the decimal point, we have the hundredths. Okay? THS. Okay? We can look at that 2 ways. I'm breaking a tenth into 10 pieces or to 10 smalls like we've done in class, or the whole, there's 100 smalls or 100 hundredths to make a whole. And then after hundredths we go into the thousands place. So I'm breaking this into 10 equal pieces, or I'm breaking this into 1,000 equal pieces, okay? And you notice that we will be getting even tinier, okay? So we're really start to get into really tiny, microscopic measurements the further and further we get away from the decimal point, okay? Really tiny intervals with the numbers, the size, okay? Well, we can, moving on, we can write these in word form, or we can use numbers, symbols to represent them. So the ones is represented with a 1, the tens is represented with the number 10. 1/10 is 0.1. 1 place to the right of the decimal point. 2 places would be 0.01. I have no tenths, I have 100th. Okay? So that's the hundredths place, and then the thousands would be 0.001. And with the tenths, hundredths, and thousands, we can also write them as a fraction. So 1 over 10 is 1/10. If I say 1/10, you can't tell the difference between if it's a decimal or a fraction. 1/100th, 1 over 100. 1,000th, 1 over 1,000. Okay, so how can we use this information to write it in expanded form? Well, we have to know the numerical representation of the place value. Okay, that 4 is in the tens place, just like we did before. 4 times 10, right, would equal 40, which is the value of that 4. 5 times 1 is 5. It's in the ones place, and I have it 5 times. Okay, I have this 8 1/10 of the time. So 8 times 1/10 is 8/10. Plus, now I have this 3. I have this 3. I have 1/100th of that 3, which is 3/100ths. Oh, what was my mistake? It should be 3/100ths, but it's in the hundredths place, 0.01. And then that 2 is in the thousands place, 0.001. Or you have the option of using fractions to write these. So it would be 4 times 10 still, 5 times 1. Make sure you have those parentheses, plus signs. Some of us missed those plus signs on the quiz. 8 times 1/10 plus 3 times 1/100th plus 2 times 1,000. Okay? So use this information for the homework tonight. There's 3 practice problems. We'll practice more in class. We'll get better at this. And I hope all this makes sense, especially since we've been using a lot of the blocks.